Hello everyone, and congratulations on finishing Chapter 2. So Chapter 2 is definitely the hardest chapter in geometry. It requires you to explain every step you're making. But because we worked so hard on that chapter, I think the other chapters are going to become a little easier to you. Today we're going to start in Chapter 3, and we're going to look at non-parallel lines and what we call a transversal. If you take a look at this picture, there's lines A, B, and C. And what I need you to realize is line C is actually going through lines A and B. And since it's cutting through those two lines, it's creating 8 angles. That line C is what we call a transversal. So on your paper, you want to put a transversal is a line, segment, or ray that intersects two or more coplanar lines, rays, or segments, each at a different point, so that it goes through two lines. By creating this, it gives me 8 angles. We now need to come up with a relationship among these 8 angles. The first thing I need you to understand is that there are 4 interior angles. And when I talk about interior, I'm talking about between these lines. So that's the interior, where everything out here is exterior. So this is all the exterior. I'm putting E's for exterior. So if I asked you on the paper to list the 4 interior angles, it would be angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. So angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. Those are your interior angles. Your exterior angles would be angles 5, 6, 7, and 8. They are what on the outside of the two lines that the transversal intersects. If you look down at your paper at number 3, it's 2 pair of non-adjacent interior angles, but on the opposite side of the transversal. So one thing I know is that they are interior, so we're talking about angles that are in here, and I'm talking about being on non-adjacent, so they can't be next to each other, so it can't be 1 and 2. So we're talking about angles and on the opposite side of the transversal. So we are literally talking about angle 2 and angle 4. And angle 1 and angle 3, and the name for these angles are called alternate interior angles. So on the blank, you're going to put alternate interior angles. Another abbreviation for that is AIA, so alternate interior angles. An example of those are 2 and 4, 1 and 3. Number 4 should be pretty easy. They're non-adjacent angles on the exterior, so our only options are 7, 8, 5, and 6, but they can't be adjacent, so you're not talking about 7 and 8, and they are on the opposite side of the transversal. So you're talking about angle 5 and angle 7, and angle 6 and angle 8, and what are they called? Alternate exterior angles. And the abbreviation for that is AEA. So it should say 2 pairs of alternate exterior angles, 5, 7, 6, and 8. I'm actually going to skip and go down to number 6, please. And in number 6, you're going to see that they are interior angles, and they are on the same side of the transversal. It actually doesn't say interior, but it should. These are angles that are inside here, and they're on the same side of the transversal. So we're talking about angles 2 and 3 and angles 1 and 4. And they are same side interior. Your textbook might also call them consecutive interior angles. And I'm going to abbreviate it as SSIA, and that's what we'll use in the class. So it's same side interior angles, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. Number 5, these are called corresponding. I'm going to give you the word to start, and corresponding is this. It's basically like they are in the same spot, but in the different groups. So for example, if I took this group and kind of put it on top of this group, it would be like them laying on top of each other. So it is angle 7 and angle 3, angle 2 and angle 6, angle 8 and angle 4, and angle 5 and angle 1. Those are what are called corresponding. And so it is non-adjacent angles on the same side of the transversal, one being interior, one being exterior. That's an example. One being exterior, one being interior. So that's an example. Another example would be exterior and interior. Non-adjacent, not next to each other, but on the same side of the transversal. So if you get those angle pairs down, there's really only 4 angle pairs. And of course, we will have a same side exterior. An example would be 8 and 5, but they're not going to be as common as the ones that we went over. So we're going to definitely use same side interior, same side exterior, alternate exterior, alternate interior. Okay, thanks.